great rabbis of yesteryear. Well, on the Hebrew date of Bet Tevet, which happens to be Zot Chanukah, also known as the 8th day of Chanukah, 2nd of Tevet, it marks the Hilula of a really great rabbi. His name was Rabbi Yakov ibn Tzur, Zecher Tzadik Libracha, or to give him his full title, Rabbi Yakov ben Reuven ibn Tzur. Very, very great rabbi. He was born actually in English year 1673 and passed away in the year 1752. He was approximately at the time of passing away, nearly about around 80 years of age at the time of passing. Really, really great rabbi. He would go on to become not just a great rabbi, he was a Posek, rendering various different Jewish law decisions. He was a Kabbalist. He was a Darshan, gave out grandiose sermons in of itself. He would write poems and songs, Torah related. He would become the head of the Jewish court, Mara'at Da'atra, and one of the main rabbis of Fez, which had, in Morocco at that specific point in time, had a really great Torah Jewish community in of itself. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the rabbi's life. Now, he was born in Meknes, actually, and he would learn Torah under the auspices of his father, Rabbi Reuven. And while he became an outstanding learner already while he was a young age, writing various different manuscripts in of itself. And I believe he was only 20 years of age. He would be appointed to the Jewish court, Bet Din of Fes, and very much in of itself will write down many great Torah books in of itself. It's actually interesting. Among his rabbis were many, many great rabbis of yesteryear, especially from the heart of the 1600s time periods in Morocco itself, especially his father, Rabbi Reuven ibn Tzur, another one of his great rabbis, Rabbi Yehuda ben Attar, very, very famous rabbi who we've spoken about on various occasions before. Also, Rabbi Vidal Hatzarfati, another great rabbi who was a Moreh Tzedek and head of Jewish court in his day and age in Fez. And also Rabbi Menachem Siriro, another great rabbi. Rav Siriro was a great Posek Halacha, also a Dayan, a judge of Rosh Hashiva in his point in time in Morocco. So that's very, very interesting. So, as we said before, in 1693 he was appointed, on the Bet Din of itself of Fez, and then he'll become the rabbi and head of Bet Din in the year 1704. At that stage in time, he had been approximately 31 years of age. I believe he would hold this position for a staggering 30 years. And eventually, I think there was different reasons he would move to Meknes at one stage in time. I think other members of the community in of itself would also go there and become also part of the Bet Din of Meknes, I think for 11-year time period, a very, very long time in of itself. And I think he would, and after that, he would actually eventually move to Tetuan, another place in Morocco, which had a great Jewish community in itself, where he would spend 7 years on the Jewish court over there in of itself. He reported over, he ordained 5 great rabbis of his time. Maybe we should mention about Rabbi Yakov, I think Ibn Danan, especially being one of the most notable 5. They became later known as a court of 5. I think the Bet Din Shel Hamisha, really, really great rabbis in of itself. Now, it's actually interesting. He wrote a lot of great Torah books, including Mishpat U'Tzedakah Ben Yakov. It was a published collection of many of his responses. It was a Shut, Sheilot and Shuvot, question and answer book, and I think he was consulting on various different Torah law questions in itself. Many of the, let's just say, his responsa on this was actually preserved in the works of great Morocco rabbis. Then there was Et Lekol of Heves, which was a great published, let's say, collection of liturgical poetry in himself. Remember, many of the great rabbis in these northern African countries were poets. They blended Judaism and Torah with regards to poetry and song. Then there was Et Sofer, which I think was, I'm not too sure if it was actually officially published or not. It was in a manuscript. I think specimens of contracts, for example, documents and form letters. And I think many of this work eventually would be published by Rabbi Avram and Kawa, really, really great rabbi we've spoken about before. I think in his work, the Kerem Hemed, if I'm not mistaken, he was a great rabbi. I think we actually related over a great video within regards to him. Also, there was a Hagod Le'etz Chaim, which was a Katav Yad manuscript, and Vikra Yabatz, which was various different, let's just say, in of itself, sermons, great Torah sermons in of itself. Many of his drashot was copied and written in Sefer, I think, of Minchat Yehuda, if I'm not mistaken. It was various different sermons on the Torah. I think it was Rabbi Yehuda ben Attar in of itself. He was really, really great rabbi. Now, he had very great students also, including, I think, as we stated before, he gave smicha, rabbinic ordination, to 5 of the Talmidei to his famous 5 Talmudim. I will just repeat the names again. Rabbi Raphael Oved ibn Tzur, who would happen to become a great judge in Fez of himself and the head of Jewish court, I believe, at one stage in time. Then there was Rabbi Shaul ibn Danan, Rabbi Eliyahu Tzarfati, Rabbi Moshe ibn Zimara, another great rabbi, Rabbi Matityahu Seriro, who we spoke about before, himself. And he also, I think, helped with regards to teaching the famous student Rabbi Ephraim Monsonigo, who would actually become a famous Kabbalist and a Dayan of Fez and Rosh Hashiva and head of Jewish court and a rabbi of Tetuan in his specific time period in himself. We've spoken about the famous Mons Oniego family in of itself. Now, in his generation itself, really probably the great Moroccan rabbis, including the famous Skida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulay, the very famous rabbi we spoke about. Rabbi Eliyahu Yisrael was another great rabbi in his generation, who we've spoken about before, who happened to be a head of a Jewish court of Alexandria in his point in time, in Jerusalem, respectively, also in Jerusalem, and the famous Maharit El Ghazi, who was, I believe, a Rishon LeZion. He was a Shluchei Rabbanan, let's say a Rosh Yeshiva of the famous Bet El Yeshiva in of itself. Now, he was a very, very great rabbi, Rabbi Yakov ibn Tzur. He passed away, it was Bet Tevet, I believe, in the year 1753. I read somewhere else 1752. I'm not 100% sure. He was about 80 years of age. And he passed away in Fez, in Morocco, in of itself. I think he was buried in the Beit HaKvorot HaYehudi Befez. That's where it's reported over he was buried, and he wrote many, many great books, as we stated before. Among his descendants included Rabbi Raphael Oved ibn Tzur, who we mentioned about before, was, I believe, one of the famous 5 Talmidim. Rabbi Raphael Oved ibn Tzur, I think, was passed away, he himself, in the year 1769. He was born in the year 1706. He would go on to become the head of the Jewish court, as we stated before, in Fez, respectively. Very interesting enough. So please don't forget to light candles in the great rabbi's memory. Bet Tevet is the Hilula. And please, everyone, subscribe to the channel. And we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. Wishing you all well. If you happen to be related to any of these great rabbis, please send me an email. I would love to hear more. So take care and have a great day.